What's going on, guys? Today we'll be reviewing Pedal Commander. This unit here is for a Toyota FJ Cruiser. I believe this model number also works on the same year Toyota 4Runners and the Tacomas as well. So this just plugs right into your sensor where your electronic throttle is, and then it accesses it from there. I'm gonna do a more in-depth comparison of the different mode settings here. I got mine used, so I saved a bit of money. I didn't pay full price for it, but I will give you an honest review as if I did pay full price for it, and whether or not it's worth the money, or are you better off putting it into something else. This is not a power additive for your engine or anything to do with your ECU. All this does is it is an inline controller from your throttle, your pedal to your actual throttle body. It controls the responsiveness. It also takes out a bit of the dead pedal. So like for instance, right now it's off. So when you press the throttle, there's a bit of dead space before anything happens, and then finally it revs up, as you can hear there. So what this effectively does is when you go to different modes, let's say the first, you press this button here and you're in city, right? That's actually more responsive than just stock without this off. And you have Sport, which is obviously more responsive than Sport Plus, and then you can go down to Eco. I think you hold it to go to Eco. Yeah, so you have to hold this down to go to Eco. And then there's also, so you can go up. So Eco in its normal setting, then you could add a little bit more responsiveness. You can see the numbers here. So +1, +2, +3, +4. And then you can obviously go down, and you can also go the other way. So if Eco still isn't slow enough of a response, you can actually go down -4, down -2, 3, and that would be the lowest setting. So it'll be even lower than stock. So I'm gonna hit the pedal now. There's a huge, before anything even happens, I'm pressing the pedal. But now, as you can see, when that's full throttle, and it very slowly accelerates. Like it takes quite a bit of pedal engagement. And I'm just gonna show you the difference here now. I'm gonna go into Sport. So here's city, sorry, we'll do city. And so you'll see my foot. I'm trying to film this so you can see the foot. There you go. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas, and it's more responsive than stock, but nothing crazy. You go to Sport Plus, or sorry, Sport, it starts to get really, you can hear the intake there right off the bat now. So what essentially is that doing? So here's Sport Plus, 1 second. Yeah, so it's insane. So like the littlest amount of throttle, like watch my foot, and that's already revving out to like 4,000 RPM. I wouldn't say that's usable. I have a standard FJ, so it's really hard on a clutch. The automatic, I don't know, I've never tried it. Maybe that would be a little bit more beneficial, but let's try the craziest mode here. So this is Sport Plus, +4. So here's, let's say 10% throttle. Yeah, so it's like instant. And all this is doing, isn't adding power or anything like that. So basically what it's doing is when your foot is on the pedal and you're pressing it, right? Let's say the factory settings are 0 to 100, right? And let's say your foot's quarter way down and you're at 25% throttle, if that makes sense to you, right? Because 100, so halfway would be 50, 3/4 of the way would be 75, all the way would be 100. So what this is doing is, instead of, let's say, city, it's going to be adding 10% to the throttle wherever the position is. So let's say you have your foot a quarter of the way down, this unit's going to recognize it as being, let's say, 35% of the way down. You go to Sport Plus, it might recognize it as being 50% of the way down. you go to Sport Plus and then all the way up. The smallest input of that throttle, your engine, it's going to send to your throttle body, and your throttle body is going to believe that you're pressing the pedal 75%. So it's just communicating with your throttle body before your pedal. And that's what this is doing. Whether this is worth it, we'll do a test and I'll let you know. I'll save my final thoughts to the end of the video.
So this is the pedal commander completely off. Second gear, 40 kilometers an hour acceleration.
All right, so now we're driving and I'm just cruising here, doing about 40 kilometers an hour on the back road, and I'm in second gear. I'm in city mode on the pedal commander, and I'll give you a bit of acceleration. Definitely noticed over stock that even city has a pretty good increase in throttle response. Nothing too crazy. I can still use the clutch okay. Coming to a stop sign now, and it doesn't feel too responsive. Not enough that it makes using the clutch and the throttle at the same time kind of different than you're used to. So it's okay in city. I'm gonna change it here now to sport. So just let off the throttle. You can do it while you're driving. It is a nice thing about it.
This is sport.
So we're in second gear again, and so now you can notice the throttle response is a lot more touchy, that's for sure. And even shifting gears there, I find that in stock mode, when you shift from the FJ from second to third, even first to second, there's a weird like rev hang that I think is probably programmed to help you get into the next gear without losing some RPM. With it on sport mode, I do notice that the shifts almost feel a little bit more crisp, because when you get on the throttle, you're applying more throttle right away, so there's less of a lag, you would say. I know you can get the same effect even without the pedal commander by just revving a little bit more, but it just feels nicer doing it this way. So now I'm going to go into sport mode. Sorry, Sport Plus. We were just in sport mode. Okay, sorry guys. My phone fell. Okay, so I'm in Sport Plus. This is the highest setting. Not adding forward to it, just Sport Plus. Zero controls either up or down. So again, I'm cruising at 40 kilometers an hour. I'm going to give it the same amount of throttle input that I was giving the other modes. Not mashing the pedal, I'm simply just slowly gaining on it as you would if you were driving. So here's 40 kilometers an hour, second gear, and so yeah. It is a lot more responsive. Personally, I would say it's not really drivable with a standard anyways, because I felt like I was getting a tiny bit of clutch spin there, especially with bigger tires, and probably due for a clutch change anyways. But like I said, I like to kick it in city mode and cruise. It gives it a better feel. A better feel. And it's nothing too crazy. And I mean, if you were doing a long trip or something, eco mode might be something you'd be interested in. If you're on the highway and, you know, trying to save gas mileage, I'm sure driving in Sport Plus would ruin your gas mileage, because it is almost impossible to throttle it, feather the throttle because it is just way too responsive. The tiniest input, tiniest bump, your foot touches the pedal, it's gonna really accelerate. So again, would I say this product is worth it? For, I believe, brand new, you can get them for like $3.99, sometimes $400 depending on your car, on Amazon. I don't know personally if I would pay that. You're not adding any power to your truck. You're really just tuning the throttle. Does it work? Yes, it does work. So, I mean, if you know what you're buying, getting into it, and that's kind of why I'm making this video, yes, absolutely, it does work. It does do what it says. It does not claim to add power, which is the case, but it does give you a significant throttle response, which is, you know, if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, absolutely. I'd be interested to see what it does on an automatic. I think it would have greater benefits for an automatic vehicle, simply because your throttle input and your ECU and your ECM and everything like that, with an automatic transmission, it recognizes what, you know, how aggressive you're being on your throttle, and it helps your transmission know when to shift. So if you were in Sport Plus or even Sport Mode or whatever, right, and you're inputting it, it's gonna make your transmission shift a little bit more aggressively, I would say, because it thinks that you're trying to, you know, accelerate faster. So it would give you almost like a false sense of power being added, if that makes sense. I don't know, I've never tried it on an automatic. I'd be very curious to do it. If anyone does, please comment down in the description, or sorry, in the comments, what you think of it, if you have it for an FJ or another vehicle, and how you like it. Anyways, I got mine, like I said, used, so it's awesome for me. I use it every day. I don't change the mode every day, but when I do go off-roading, I do drop it down into Eco -2, and it really helps with 4 low on tricky situations, helps kind of control the wheels a little bit.
I go into 4 low, so that's 4 high, and I go down to 4 low, and I'm about to go off-roading. Even in first gear or second gear, when I'm going up tight obstacles and stuff like that, if there's any sort of articulation in the suspension or whatever, for my foot touches the gas, it's extremely jerky and can create like a weird bucking situation, especially with a standard. So when you're taking off in 4 low, you tend to be riding the clutch a little higher and stuff like that. So what I do is I drop it down to Eco. So I'll hold this down, and then I'll drop it down to -2. And then, so I'm in 4 low right now. I'm gonna show you. When I go into first gear now, it feels a lot better. So it's not jerky at all. So here we're gonna go a little bit off-road. You know, normally once the truck starts moving back and forth like this, the tiniest input from the throttle can give the truck like a jerking sensation, which is pretty hard on the clutch and the drive line as well. So that's kind of what I use it for mainly. It also lets me fine tune my throttle when I'm off-roading for different situations, such as like hill climbs, rocky situations, or even mud. If I'm trying not to spin my tires too much, it really helps with that. And that's mainly why I wanted this unit. But I do use it for just everyday driving as well. I don't use Eco mode because my truck's already on 35s and it's slow enough as it is. So what I do is I usually run city, and I'll do +2.
But yeah, guys, that's it. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask me. I will try and answer them the best I can. I've had this product now for over, I don't know, let's say 3 months. So I've kind of figured out everything with it. The app kind of sucks. It's Bluetooth, but if you're listening to music in your car, you know, you're not going to be canceling your Bluetooth music just to go change your pedal commander, and you have to hold your phone, and obviously that's illegal. So I just use the mobile device here. It plugs straight into your pedal, comes with the brackets and some 2-way Velcro to stick it on. And yeah, that's all I got to say about the product. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any more comments or questions about this product, please let me know. Or if you'd like me to review something, also drop that down there and I'll see if I can do it. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.